Okay.
We're not in, right?
Ini.
Okay, guys. Assalamualaikum, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. Welcome back to another session of Life with Saih with Imam Talut Dawood from Mexico for knowing the path to Allah. So let me just, for the sake of the new viewers, let me read a short bio of Imam for you all. Imam Talut Dawood is a student of knowledge from US and has studied Arabic and religion for over 10 years. He specializes in Arabic translation and Hanafi fiqh. He currently resides in Mexico where he has taught and served as Imam for the last 6 years. He is also an authorized Muqaddam of Shaykh Mahisise. So with that, we would like to welcome Imam to begin the class. Assalamualaikum Imam.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما تعلمنا وزدنا من فضلك علما وتعليما إنك على كل شيء قدير. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we're going to continue, inshallah, with the book Bughyatul Mustafid of Ibn Al-Arabi Ibn Saih radiallahu anhu. And we are going to continue from the discussion from last week, where he was discussing the fact that Allah may teach some people who are not prophets directly. And this kind of teaching is normally called ilham, or unveiling, or ilham, inspiration, or unveiling, which is kashf. And so it is possible for Allah to teach people directly, especially those who have excelled in what we said before, excelled in fulfilling their obligations, and those who have purified their hearts of evil inclinations and purified their intentions. And so these people, sometimes Allah will teach them directly. And so he's going to continue. We were actually in a section which he was quoting from Imam al-Sha'rani, where Imam al-Sha'rani was quoting Shaykh Ibn Arabi al-Hatimi, the Ibn Arabi from Spain, who was from Andalusia. He was quoting him. So we're going to go back a little bit, where he says, although the real, blessed and exalted is he, was able to explicitly state the interpretations of the people of Allah in his book, like the ambiguous verses or the letters that begin some surahs, he, blessed exalted is he, did not do that. Instead, he hid them in those divine words and letters as special sciences that only sincere slaves know, that only sincere slaves come to know. If the deniers had only given it its proper due, they would have warned themselves within themselves when they saw a verse with the outward eye, a verse with only looking at its in his literal interpretation, which they subject to whatever understanding they have. And so the people who criticize the people of Tasawwuf for their understandings, what Ibn Arabi is saying, that they should have just warned themselves. They should have been more cautious about what they were doing, because they should have known that the outward, or the literal meaning of the verse that they are quoting and that they use for their own purposes is not the only meaning of the verses. And they would see that they are blessed in that. However, they would see that in their understanding, whatever understanding Allah gives you, you are blessed. So what he's calling to here is that you should ordinarily try and be thankful for what Allah has given you, what understanding Allah has given you. You shouldn't be jealous of other people's understanding or deny their understanding. Rather, you should be thankful in what you have, and in fact, thankfulness for what you have is a source of increase. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, and if you are thankful, we will increase you. Increase you in what? Increase you in blessing, increase you in sustenance. And part of sustenance and blessing is knowledge. And so if they had only been thankful, and part of thankfulness is not being jealous or not looking towards what others have. This is part of thankfulness. And so if they had only been thankful, then they would have been more blessed, and they would have received more. And they would recognize the superiority that some have over others in speech about an understanding of the meaning of those verses. And the one who shrinks from him will be better than the one who belittles him. So the person who accepts that someone may be superior to him in understanding the Quran, this person is better than the person who does not accept that and belittles people. And unfortunately, this is the subhanAllah, this is the situation of many ulama, not so much ulama, but people who have passed courses and are called alim and are called scholars, is the fact that they think that whatever they learned in their course or whatever their teachers told them is the pinnacle of knowledge. And so anything that contradicts that or anything that differs from that is belittled. So we find that, some people, for example, they are from places where the Tijani tariqah is unknown. And so, when people from there take the tariqah, people tell them, no, there's only 4 tariqahs, or there's only 3 tariqahs, or there's only 5 tariqahs. But they tell them that, the Tijani tariqah is fake. And so, and then, they start to say, you still following that fake tariqah. No, this is not the way. And these people who do this, their knowledge is in jeopardy their knowledge places them in jeopardy, because they should and not acknowledge that Allah is the all-knowing, and over every knower is one who is more knowing. So everyone their knowledge has a limit, and so they should understand the limits of their knowledge and not criticize what has not arrived to them. But then Shaykh Arabi, Ibn Arabi says, but all of them are in a single stream. So the reality is that even though they criticize, they are in the stream of knowledge also. So they deserve respect. We aren't saying that they should be disrespected or anything like that. We are saying that they should, and the people who are their colleagues should tell them this. They should be more open to understanding that there are different types of knowledge given to different people. Then he says, but despite their differing levels, what is well known is that they deny the people of Allah when they come with something obscure to their understanding. All of that is because of their not believing that the people of Allah know the sacred law. And you find this also, that some of the people of knowledge, they criticize the Sufis and say, well, he's a Sufi, he's not a scholar. But many Sufis are scholars, but they don't go by any title, or they don't flaunt their knowledge. And so they may not understand that many Sufis know the sacred law. They know the Sharia. This is something that they know by heart. and they attributed they only attributed them, the scholars of the outward only attributed the people of Allah with ignorance and being of the common folk, especially if they have not learned from one of the scholars of outer knowledge. And they often say, where does this knowledge come from? Due to their belief that no one obtains knowledge except in the hands of a teacher. And they are right in that. They are right when they say that no one obtains knowledge except through a teacher. However, they are wrong in assuming that Allah does not teach. Allah, exalted as He, gives the people who act upon what they know knowledge from Himself by means of divine teaching that He reveals in their hearts, which conforms to what the sacred law has come with. Not a mustard seed's weight of it falls outside of it. He, Allah, blessed and exalted as He, has said, He created mankind, He taught him the speech. And then He also has said, He taught man what he had not known. And He said about His slave, Al-Khidr, alayhi salam, He taught him a science from Himself. He taught him a science from His own presence. And although the deniers were truthful in saying knowledge only comes by means of a teacher, they had erred in believing that Allah, exalted as He, only teaches prophets and messengers directly. He said He gives wisdom to whomever He wills, and wisdom is a kind of knowledge. And so, and this is directly from the Quran. He gives yu'ti hikmah man yasha. He gives wisdom to whomever He wills in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 269. And wisdom is a kind of knowledge. Wisdom is actually a superior form of knowledge. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches wisdom to whomever He wills. And this is proof that He teaches. In addition, He brought it with man, which is indefinite. And this is actually going back to He brought it with man, which is indefinite. However, since this is actually going back to another verse when He taught Allama al-insan, Allamahu al-bayan. So he taught man which is indefinite. And so what he's referring to here is that the fact that it's indefinite means that it may be any man. It's not which is definite. So He brought it with man, which is definite, and this actually is a kind of grammatical discussion that the definite, one of the meanings of the definite article is al-jins, a definite article that refers to an entire species. And so it is not specific to prophets and messengers. And that's what Ibn Arabi is saying here. It's not specific to prophets and messengers because Allah said man, and He referred to the entire humanity. And so that means that it can be any person. However, since these deniers prefer the world of the hereafter, prefer the world to the hereafter, and to that which brings one close to Allah, and because of their having become accustomed to taking knowledge from books and from the mouths of men, they were veiled from knowing that Allah has slaves whose instruction He has taken upon Himself in their inner selves, since He is the real teacher of the entire universe. And His knowledge is the most correct knowledge, whose perfection neither believer nor unbeliever doubts. Ibn Arabi later said, then you should know that the one whose teacher is Allah is more deserving of being followed than the one whose teacher is his own reason. But where are those who judge fairly? Then later he said, and where are those who deny the claims of the people of Allah to knowledge when it comes to the saying of our master Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, if I were to tell you the exegesis, the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha, I would fill the backs of 70 beasts of burden. What it means that if he were to dictate the meanings of Surah Al-Fatiha, then what the notes that the people wrote down, the meanings that the people wrote down, the pages would be so much that they would not fit on the backs of 70 beasts of burden, of 70 animals that carry burdens. Is that anything more than the spiritual knowledge that Allah had given him by way of inspiration? For reason cannot accomplish that. Abu Yazid al-Bistami radiallahu anhu used to say to the scholars of his time, you took your knowledge as dead people from dead people, but we took our knowledge from the living one who will never die. And Shaykh Abu Madian used to say to his companions when he heard them say, so-and-so narrated to me, do not covet chewed meat. Don't desire chewed meat. He meant by that to raise the aspirations of his companions. It means only narrate your new understandings to which Allah has opened your hearts about the words of Allah and the words of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because the giver of divine knowledge is living and does not die. And that knowledge only exists in every age in the hearts of the people of the path. And so we have to contextualize these two statements because especially the statement of Abu Madian, because it's very strong. Both of them are very strong. So Abu Yazid al-Bistami said, you took knowledge as dead people from dead people, but we took knowledge from the living one who will never die. And so what is he saying? He's saying that your knowledge comes from people whose knowledge is imperfect. That's what he's saying. He's not saying that, he's not disrespecting the scholars, or he's not disrespecting the scholarly process. He's just saying that that the knowledge that they're taking it from the imperfect. And so he raised his aspiration to take knowledge directly from the one whose knowledge is perfect. And Sheikh Abu Madian, his statement means, so-and-so narrate, do not covet chewed meat. What his statement means is not about bringing out new Sharia or bringing out new rulings. No, this is not what it's about. It's about, because those are known through narration and from the narration from the imams. Rather, what he's saying is that you should raise your aspirations above just trying to transmit what people transmitted before. You should raise your aspirations above just learning how to pray. No, you should go further and learn how to make your prayer alive with Allah, how to enliven your prayer, how to make your prayer an intimate conversation with Allah, not just the rulings of the prayer. You should learn how to make it an intimate experience with Allah. You should not, when you read the Quran, you should not only want to understand whatever ruling people have taken from each verse. You should also want to understand how to make your Quran, your recitation of Quran, an intimate experience with Allah. How to reach the level where Allah is, it is as if Allah is speaking directly to you. And so this is what he was saying. He wasn't saying that one should abandon the scholarly process. Neither one of them were saying that. They were trying to raise the aspirations of their companions to something which is beyond that. And so that's what they mean by that. What we can take from all this is that the sciences of the people of Allah, exalted is He, are lordly ranks and divine winds revealed by the purity of their inner selves and the exclusivity of their hearts for Allah, and the purity of their intention for Allah, meaning that their hearts are exclusively for Allah. So their true meanings were hidden in subtle indication and brought forth a abundant expression. They were only hidden in subtle indication because they are matters of witnessing and experience. For that reason, it is only appropriate to use subtle indications, since expressions only increase one and confusion. Because these realities that one finds in the Quran, you can, if you express these realities, then it can do one of two things. Number one, those who deny the knowledge of the people of Allah may start to accuse you of making up things, or of, God forbid, of kufr, because they don't understand what you are explaining to them. Or for the novices, then they may understand something in the wrong way, and that may lead them down a path of destruction. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbid. And then, for the perfect people, they don't need an explanation because their experience told them, so an expression is sufficient. So this is what he's saying here. Shaykh Ali al-Rudhbari said, this knowledge of ours is subtle indication, so when it is expressed, it becomes hidden. And this is what he means. When you express it, then it causes confusion amongst everybody, except the people who already know it. For that reason, the people of Allah had to coin technical indications of what they knew between them. So they speak through those indications only when there are strangers among them and in their books and writings, because they did not coin these terms for themselves, since they know the truth regarding them. But the one who takes these coined terms is apprehensive to level. The one who takes these coined terms is apprehensive to leveled accusations, fearing that he should hear something from them or something in their books whose meaning escapes him, and he should deny them for that and be punished for their deficient knowledge, and he will not teach him anymore. And we seek refuge in Allah from that. What this means is that the person who takes this knowledge from them should be very careful that he does not misunderstand what they mean, and then go down the path of either spreading knowledge which he should not be spreading, or down the path of misunderstanding and then denial. And this is the end of what Imam Sha'rani related in Al-Yawaqid from Shaykh Muhyiddin radiallahu anhu. Sha'rani continued, and among the most amazing things in this path, which is exclusive to it, is that there is not a group that carries a knowledge, be it the logicians, the grammarians, the engineers, the mathematicians, the theologians, or others, except that they have technical language that their accuser cannot know except by the enablement of a sheikh from among the people of that science. And so we see this that in fiqh, for example, those technical terms. So if they are actually investigating, for example, if a Shafi'i is investigating the I hope I just received a message that my internet was unstable. But so if a Shafi'i is investigating the Hanafi madhab, for example, unless he has been trained in the Hanafi madhab, he does not know all of the technical terms and the different usul that the Hanafis use. And so he has to resort to the support of someone who is an expert in that madhab. So that's what he's saying, is that you can't know the technical language without being trained by somebody who is in that particular discipline. That is imperative except for the people of this path alone. But when the sincere disciple enters their path, having no prior knowledge of their technical language, and sits with them and hears what their subtle indications and hears from them their subtle indications, he understands all of what they speak, as if he is the one who had coined that particular technical term. And he becomes their colleague in that, without finding it absurd coming from himself. Rather, he will see it as necessary knowledge that he is incapable of rejecting, as if he has always known it and does not know how he obtained it. That is in regards to the sincere disciple. As for others, they only obtain it through the enablement of the Shaykh. And so this is regarding the sincere disciple, the sincere murid, and tasawwuf. Um, like we said, Allah can take it upon himself and teach him. And so when he sits with the people and he starts to hear what they're saying, then Allah will teach him the meaning of what they're saying. This is for the sincere disciple. And if that's not our case, if that's not the case for us, then we need to look for a Shaykh who can guide us through the paths that lead to that understanding. And Imam Al-Arabi bin Saih, radiallahu anhu, says, I say, that is because the sincere disciple does not see anything except what is easy for him. He doesn't look at anything except for what is easy for him. And everything that is difficult for him in his path, Allah exalted as he will inspire him with its understanding. And that is the reward for his sincerity, different to others who do not know of that except by the enablement of a sheikh or instruction of a brother who guides him. And for them, it is not permissible to delve into the knowledge of the path until he knows their technical language, meaning the technical language of the people of the path when they speak through the subtle indications in their books. Some of the sheikhs have said, it is not permissible for the person who does not know our technical language to examine, to investigate our path. For that reason, Al-Qushayri, may Allah be pleased with him, used to say, they forbade the disciple from perusing the books of the people of the path without reading it with a sheikh or a companion who knows well the technical language. One of the knowers of Allah used to say, we are a people whose books are forbidden to read to anyone who is not of the people of our path. Likewise, it is not permissible that our words should be conveyed to the one who does not believe in them. Whoever conveys to them to the one who does not believe in them, both the conveyor and the one to whom it is conveyed will enter hell. This has been clarified by all the people of the path for all the world to see. They said, whoever reveals the secret is deserving of the punishment of being killed. And so it is important, subhanAllah, to remember that this knowledge is not for everybody. And one of the difficult things in the time of information, of free information and unlimited information or unlimited access to information, is that we don't appreciate what is secret. And so due to the fact that people reveal secrets, due to the fact that people speak about secret knowledge openly, many people who are not ready to hear certain realities are led astray. And many people who have preconceived notions and enmity towards the people of the path find their confirmation in such things. So it is important. And Shaykh Ibrahim Niyas, who wrote a whole letter on the importance of guarding the secrets. And our shuyukh have said that just because something is written in a book doesn't mean that it's not a secret. So we have to be careful and not go around speaking about things that are not public knowledge. Someone may object and say, why then did the scholars of the people of the path not put an end to writing down and authoring books regarding these sciences? And by doing that, they would stop people from perusing the subtle indications and hidden secrets. Since speaking about that may harm the jurists who have not reached their level, not to mention others. And perhaps the different points of view of those things may be hidden from the bright stars, not to mention those who are lower than them. Did they not have wisdom nor look at the creation with enough pity and mercy to prevent them from perusing that and thereby being dumbfounded due to the narrowness of these paths? So this is a possible objection, and it's a real objection, and it's an important thought. The first thing is that these realities, even the jurists, the people, the expert fuqaha may not have access to these realities. And so if they don't have access to these realities, then the normal people, the ordinary people, have less access. And so the question is, why didn't they hide everything instead of letting it be written in books? We will respond as follows. The author of Al-Yawaqid wal-Jawahir, Imam Sharani, narrated about the knower of Allah, exalted is he, Sidi Ali ibn Wafa radiallahu anhu, that something similar was said to him, and he answered, saying, it is said to that person, is the one who causes the bright sun to rise and its brilliant rays to spread despite the harm it does to the bat's sight and others with similar physical weaknesses, all knowing and all wise. If he replies that that is true, but rejects the other on the basis that he directs that advantage to others who can take care of these deficient folk, we say the response to your inquiry is the same. So just as the real, exalted is he, did not refuse to manifest the light of the sun out of deference to those whose sight is weak, in the same vein, it is not the right of the knowers of Allah to cater to those whose understanding is veiled from their path, nor those who abstain from it, nor those who deny it. And so it's simple. Allah placed the sun, and the sun does harm to some animals and even some people. However, he placed the sun for the people who could benefit from it, and those people can be of assistance to those who cannot benefit from it. And in the same way, the people of the path put they wrote these subtle indications and these secrets in books so that the people who understood them may benefit from it, and the people who do not understand them may be helped by the people who understand them. And so this is the solution to, or the answer to the objection that we mentioned. And then he, meaning the Gnostic Ibn Wafa, explained at length. The meaning of Ibn Wafa, explained at length. Then he said, the mujtahids from among the tabi'een and those after them did not write down what they extracted from the book and the sunnah in as a means for obtaining the desires of the ego, nor for love of leadership and position, nor for seeking the world through it, nor to compete with each other in drawing near to the rulers. By Allah, that was not their intention. However, Allah's decree was carried out. And so he's saying that, the mujtahids, the imams of the tabi'een, they wrote down knowledge in order to benefit people by it. and some are harmed by that knowledge because they seek the world with it. But that does not take away from the benefit of the knowledge that they recorded. He continued saying, similar to the mujtahids not forbidding the one who seeks a portion of the world with knowledge from writing it, instead making their reason for doing it seeking the reward for their best intentions, even if people did not act upon them. The knowers of Allah have the reward of their pious intentions and goals of benefiting the disciples with their explanations of realities that unveil the problematic issues of the science of belief and the diseases of the heart. So basically, he's saying that the mujtahids, they let all people benefit. You know, so the scholars of the world, the scholars that sought knowledge in order to get a piece of this world, they actually were able to read the books of the scholars, and they were not forbidden from it. So the fact that these people exist did not stop the mujtahids and the imams from writing knowledge. And so the same way, the fact that people may criticize, people may disbelieve in what the arifin say, or people may not understand what they're saying, did not make them stop writing down their knowledge in order to benefit the sincere disciples. Then he said, from the benefits of their authoring books is the pollination of the hearts of those who read their writings after them, so that they obtain from those meanings what will raise them and send upon their hearts and their tongues the clouds of mercy, and the earth of their heart will be split asunder with the light of their guidance, and be given life by the traces of their guidance. And so basically he's saying that people gain inspiration from their writings. That's one of the benefits. People gain inspiration, and we know this because we know that when we read the books of the Arifin, then we are inspired to have aspiration for what they experienced, and to try and obtain the ma'rifah that they are describing. So their writings were made to represent them after their death and advising the disciples. And their writing down their secrets and sciences is one of their biggest responsibilities, since others cannot take their place in writing down the cures for the diseases of the heart, nor the etiquettes of the presence of the real presences, exalted is he, in all legislated matters. And each station has a specific mode of presence and etiquette. So that's the end of what Ibn Wafar radiallahu anhu said. And Al-Arabi ibn Saih continues, we have only written at length here, bringing out all these narrations in order to bring to completion the desired benefit from this topic, and to invigorate the aspirations of the disciples so that they adhere to the lofty observation post of this lofty sublime knowledge. For indeed, there is no doubt that it is beneficial. It is the beneficial knowledge and the light that Allah casts into the hearts of whomever He wills among the elect slaves, with no one to dispute it or ward it off. The Sufi Muhaddith, Imam Abu Abdullah Sidi Muhammad ibn Ali at-Tirmidhi, radiallahu anhu, and he shouldn't be. This is Al-Hakim at-Tirmidhi, the author of the book Khatm al-Awliya, and he was a muhaddith, and it shouldn't be confused with the author of Sunan at-Tirmidhi, who was one of the authors of the 6 books and one of the students of Imam al-Bukhari, radiallahu anhum ajma'in. So the Sufi muhaddith, Al-Hakim Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Ali at-Tirmidhi, may Allah be pleased with him, said, beneficial knowledge is that which becomes ingrained and takes shape in the chest. That is to say that when light rises in the heart and conceptualizes good and evil matters, it leaves a shadow in the heart, which is the conceptualization of these matters. Thus, he will come to that which is good and avoid that which is evil. That is beneficial knowledge. And from the light of the heart, those signs come out to the breast, and they are the signs of guidance. And knowledge that is studied, which is knowledge of the tongue, is only something that has been stored away in memory. However, if his desires dominate him, they could descend upon that knowledge and expel by their darkness its light. And so he's what he's saying is that beneficial knowledge is the knowledge that illuminates the heart and causes him to act upon the best of that knowledge and to leave alone what Allah has forbidden. And this beneficial knowledge is what is meant in the words of the Imam of Imams, Malik ibn Anas radiallahu anhu. Malik ibn Anas radiallahu anhu. So he's referring to Imam Malik. And you know, Sidi Al-Arabi ibn Saih, he was subhanallah, he was a Maliki. And so and he was living in the land of the Maliki. So he says Imam of Imams. And so he said that this beneficial knowledge is what is meant in the words of Imam Malik. Knowledge is not knowing a lot of narrations. Rather, knowledge is the light that Allah casts into the hearts. Sidi Abu Abdullah ibn Abbad radiallahu anhu said, the benefit in knowledge is in its drawing the slave near to his Lord and distancing him from witnessing himself. And that is the maximum felicity and the limit of his seeking and desire. And he, may Allah exalted as he have mercy on him, narrated on the authority of Al-Junaid radiallahu anhu regarding real beneficial knowledge and a brief sublime definition that brings together that around which the unadulterated sciences revolve. And it is pure gnosis of Allah, exalted is he, and beautiful etiquette before him, exalted is he, blessed and exalted is he. So Imam al-Junaid said, Imam ibn Abbad radiallahu anhu said, Al-Junaid radiallahu anhu said, knowledge is that you should recognize your Lord and that you not consider your own worth. Knowledge is that you should recognize your Lord, meaning that you should recognize your Lord and recognize Allah as in the degree that he deserves, and that you do not consider your own worth, meaning that you do not pay attention to what your nafs thinks that it deserves. Then Al-Junaid radiallahu anhu said, these sciences are the sciences in which a person should occupy his life completely, and no one is freed of need of neither a little of it nor a lot of it. Abu al-Hasan al-Shadili radiallahu anhu said, if someone does not enter into these sciences, referring to the sciences of the people of Allah, exalted is he will die persisting in major sins without knowing it. Sidi Muhammad ibn Abbad radiallahu anhu said, it is possible that a person has no need of other sciences, and other sciences may perhaps even harm the person if he persists in them. And the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, had sought refuge from knowledge that doesn't benefit. And we're gonna finish out this section, and then there's a brief section after that. We'll start on next week. He goes on to say, Al-Arabi ibn Saih goes on to say, Shaykh Muhyiddin radiallahu anhu said the following, alluding to the definition of beneficial knowledge. Knowledge is of two kinds. The first is knowledge that one only needs the way he needs provisions. In this knowledge, it is necessary to be frugal and limit oneself to that which is necessary. And this is the knowledge of the rulings of the sacred law. One should only investigate that which satisfies his need at the time, because that knowledge is only connected with actions that occur in this world. So only take what relates to your actions. The second is knowledge that has no limit at which one should stop. This is the knowledge related to Allah, exalted is he, and the stations of the hereafter. Let the slave prepare for each of the stations that which befits it. And so Ibn al-Arabi Al-Hatimi radiallahu anhu was saying, Shaykh Muhyiddin was saying that basically that knowledge that is beneficial is the knowledge of the sacred law that is beneficial is what one can put into practice. And the rest of the beneficial knowledge is the knowledge of the people of the path, the knowledge of the purification of the heart, and the knowledge of going towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so I'll turn it back over to Sidi Amin, so we can see if there are any questions.
Okay, Imam Talut, thank you. Now we have just a few questions. So the first one will be, so you mentioned about ilham. So is this ilham, can it be for something to do with our worldly aspirations, or is it only that has to do with ma'rifah?
So Sheikh Ibrahim Niaz radiallahu anhu said that there are two types of unveilings. There's dark unveiling and there's light. There's unveilings of light. So dark unveilings are things that have to do with this worldly life. And so if you, for example, come to know that something is going to happen tomorrow, then this is possible, but that's called a dark unveiling, and we should pay no attention to that, and we don't ascribe any speciality to ourselves for that. Ilham will always have to do with Allah, His attributes, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his realities, or the realities of the people of Allah. This is ilham, or meanings that are buried in certain verses of Holy Quran and certain hadith. This is ilham. So it will always be regarding something regarding the deen or the hereafter, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, etc.
Okay. Thank you, Mom. So one more question also related to ilham. When we get inspirations, whether let it be about worldly or about ma'rifah, how can we assure that this from Allah and it's not from ourselves? Okay, let's say like it's regarding about the deen and everything. How can we assure that this is not from ourselves?
Well, we spoke about that, that the khawatir, the different kinds of notions, that there are angelic, there are shaitani, there's nafsani, there's angelic, there are demonic, there is egotistical, and there's that which is from Allah. That which is from Allah, it provides coolness and satisfaction, and it remains. That is which is from the nafs. It may remain, but it causes more agitation within ourselves. And that which is from shaitan comes and then it goes, and it causes heat and agitation. And that which is from the angel inspires us towards obedience, and it causes coolness and satisfaction. And so those are some of the ways that we can know, but the best way to know is to keep contact with an arif, of a knower of Allah, and to tell him what what occurs to you, and then he can verify it or lead you to something better, inshallah.
Okay, I'm gonna thank you, Imam. I think we have come to the end of today's session. Maybe we can close this session with your dua.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. Allah, we ask you to have mercy on us and to bless us and to open up the doors to all your blessings. We ask you, Allah, to protect us from all different kinds of afflictions, and especially the afflictions of the spirit and of the nafs, and to keep us safe from all of that. And we ask you, O Allah, to provide us with knowledge that is beneficial. And we seek refuge in you, O Allah, just as your messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam sought refuge from knowledge that does not benefit. And we ask you to guide us and to benefit us by by what you teach us, and to keep us away from that which is not beneficial, and to provide us wisdom and action upon what you teach us. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin.
Thank you, Imam. Inshallah, we see you again next week.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, alhamdulillah, it was a very beneficial session once again with Imam Talut. Before we close today's live, I would just like to make a few announcements. For tonight's live with SI, we have Imam Dawood, who will be sharing about the message of the Quran from the letters of jewels of Shaykh Ibrahim Nias. And tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. also, we have Sheikh Abdul Aziz Fredericks, who will be continuing his weekly lessons on the 40 principles of the religion by Imam Ghazali's Ihya Ulumuddin. And tomorrow's session will be about pride. As for our ongoing campaigns that you can support, we have the Ramadan project, which is our partnership and collaboration with Free Food for All to raise $60,000 to feed to provide 25,000 meals and porridge in this blessed month. You can find the link in the comments. And also for our ongoing build a hospital project for those in Senegal. This will directly benefit about 25,000 people in the village and the surrounding village population of about 124,000. This hospital will focus on the maternal wards and the children's hospital, something that they really need in this region. So with that, I would like to say thank you for those who are tuning today, and inshallah we will see you in our upcoming live SI programs. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.